Get Stuart on the phone.
Stuart Humphrey?
Yes, CEO of Wahoo. That's Stuart Humphrey.
Again, that the number of affected users has swelled to over 500 million, making it the largest data breach in history. Our experts are telling us that the ripple effect could last years, even decades. And again, for anyone watching at home, it cannot be stressed enough. Change your passwords. Even if you think you're not affected, better to be safe than sorry.
Mr. Humphrey for you.
Put him on. You want to tell me why I'm learning about the Wahoo data breach from NNN and not from you, the CEO of the company we're purchasing for $4.8 billion?
Margaret, calm down.
Calm down? They're saying the security breach affects 500 million end users. They're also saying Wahoo execs, including you, became aware of a hacker attempting to sell user data on the darknet 7 months ago. So I want to know, how much did you know? And when did you know it?
For starters, I want to remind you, we're on the same team here. Let's try not to forget that. Now, that said, I do know that 7 months ago, there was a hacker trying to sell data he claimed for a watering hole attack.
It's where a hacker secretly finds out what websites a company's employees frequently go to, like fantasy football sites, online gaming sites, or industry sites that publish business news. The hacker sends a fake update request that looks like it's coming from the legit website, but really, it's a trick to get the worker to install malware. You never clicked to install an update like that, did you?
No, I would never do something that stupid.
You don't have to be stupid. That's the thing. Hackers are smart, and they're constantly thinking of new ways to trick people. Sometimes you don't even have to do anything. All it takes is to simply visit a website the hackers have infected, and bam, you're hacked.
How are you supposed to protect against that?
For starters, be mindful of the sites you visit. Try to avoid any that aren't well known or don't appear to be on the up and up. But probably the best way to avoid a watering hole attack is to make sure your programs stay automatically updated by software vendors or your IT department.
Stuart, I'm just not buying it.
We get thousands of hacking attempts and alleged data breaches every year. I mean, we couldn't possibly sort through them all to tell which are real and which are fake.
Well, I can tell you, I'm a firm believer where there's smoke, there's fire. You'll be hearing from our attorneys.
With many experts predicting this breach will ultimately cost Horizon the future its CEO wanted. Now, that future seems far less certain for both the company and its CEO.
Let's do it once again. Okay. It was cool.
Get Stuart on the phone.
Stuart Humphrey?
Yes, CEO of Wahoo. That's Stuart Humphrey.
Again, that the number of affected users has swelled to over 500 million, making it the largest data breach in history. Our experts are telling us that the ripple effect could last years, even decades. And again, for anyone watching at home, it cannot be stressed enough. Change your passwords. Even if you think you're not affected, better to be safe than sorry.
Mr. Humphrey for you.
Put him on. You want to tell me why I'm learning about the Wahoo data breach from NNN and not from you, the CEO of the company we're purchasing for $4.8 billion?
Margaret, calm down.
Calm down? They're saying the security breach affects 500 million end users. They're also saying Wahoo execs, including you, became aware of a hacker attempting to sell user data on the darknet 7 months ago. So I want to know, how much did you know? And when did you know it?
For starters, I want to remind you, we're on the same team here. Let's try not to forget that. Now, that said, I do know that 7 months ago there was a hacker trying to sell data he claimed he stole through a watering hole attack.
Watering hole attack?
It's where a hacker secretly finds out what websites a company's employees frequently go to, like fantasy football sites, online gaming sites, or industry sites that publish business news. The hacker sends a fake update request that looks like it's coming from the legit website, but really, it's a trick to get the worker to install malware. You never clicked to install an update like that, did you?
No, I would never do something that stupid.
You don't have to be stupid. That's the thing. Hackers are smart, and they're constantly thinking of new ways to trick people. Sometimes you don't even have to do anything. All it takes is to simply visit a website the hackers have infected, and bam, you're hacked.
How are you supposed to protect against that?
For starters, be mindful of the sites you visit. Try to avoid any that aren't well known or don't appear to be on the up and up. But probably the best way to avoid a watering hole attack is to make sure your programs stay automatically updated by software vendors or your IT department.
Stuart, I'm just not buying it.
We get thousands of hacking attempts and alleged data breaches every year. I mean, we couldn't possibly sort through them all to tell which are real and which are fake.
Well, I can tell you, I'm a firm believer where there's smoke, there's fire. You'll be hearing from our attorneys.
With many experts predicting this breach will ultimately cost Horizon the future its CEO wanted, now that future seems far less certain for both the company and its CEO.
Okay. I think this will be okay for us to be able to answer all the questions that follows. Let's go straight to the quiz and see if we can answer all the questions. I think it's only one question. I guess it's going to be easier for us to answer this question. So please select the answer that are true statements. Please select the answers that are true statements. Check all that applies. One, if you've been to the website before, and it didn't contain watering hole attack, it is safe for you to keep visiting, as it won't contain a watering hole attack in the future. If you have been to a website before and it didn't contain any watering hole attack, it is safe for you to keep visiting, as it won't contain a watering hole attack in the future. That's one. Can we check that one, or we should move just past that one? Guys, are you all here with me? Yeah, I think you are here. So we are answering the question. Can we pass the first one, or we should answer it? We should take that one. Okay, so let's move to the second one. It is not only CD websites that contains watering hole attacks. Very prominent websites have been hacked and injected with watering hole attack as well. It is not only CD websites that contain watering hole attacks. Very prominent websites have been hacked and injected with watering hole attack as well. I think we can check this one. Don't follow any prompts from any websites to download software updated without first checking it with IT. You shouldn't follow any prompts from any websites to download software updates without first checking it with the IT. Should we check this one as well, or should we pass this one? Should we check this one? Guys, are you here with me? Can you hear me? Hello? Hello, guys, can you hear me? Okay, let's see. Keep all software application up to date, including your antivirus. This will lessen the likelihood that a watering hole attack will be successful. So let's check this one as well and see. You complete the quiz. So it's 100%. Congratulations, guys, for helping us to answer all these questions. But before we move to the business of the day, as we watch the mandatory training, it's talking about watering hole. And I know some people will be asking questions as to what is a watering hole. It's just a system of attack or a way of an attack whereby the hacker or the attacker infects the supplier with a malware, and then whoever, purchased from that supplier will be infected as well. So it's a system of attacking one and hurting many. So you know the source that everybody comes or every single person visits, like a prominent website that people do visits, like Google or stuff, and then you infect Google with a malware, Google website with a malware, so that everyone that visits Google will be infected as well. So that is all we mean by how they call it, watering hole. So that is why we have, a tool like Cisco Umbrella, whereby we used to block or we used to, block any, sites from it being visited by our employees. So organizations can decide to say, okay, we don't want our employees to visit these particular websites. So they place a policy or they make a policy that will deter, that will prevent every single employee from visiting that particular site. They don't only say it, they don't only write it on paper, but they take action in order to block that particular website. So we use Cisco Umbrella in doing that. So with the Cisco Umbrella, you enter the URL and then you block it, so that anytime an employee wants to visit that particular site, it will be difficult for him or her to be able to visit that particular site. So one day we will demonstrate it. I think we've done it before on this particular platform, but I've just bringing it today. And the next time, maybe I will just bring Cisco Umbrella and then we demonstrate that as well. So we are moving straight to the business of the day. Today, we are supposed to do something on, or we are going to do something on the almighty BEC, that is business email compromise. Business email compromise, that is what we are going to do today. And as we all know, we've been hearing about this particular business email compromise. And you will agree with me that we've, in one way or the other, been encountered with, or we've received messages either by voice or a text message that is asking us to act in a particular way, that is asking us to perform a certain action, and that particular email or that particular text message that is coming it comes with some things like you being pressured to act within a particular time frame, or you being put and as if like you being embarrassed, or you being pressured, or you being like a whole lot of things that do happen when it comes to those, social engineering methods of getting us to act in a particular way. So we all have received such messages, being it's that message is coming from someone superior to us, or maybe coming from someone we don't know, an anonymous person, or even sometimes it's just a spear phishing that is coming directly from someone we do know based on the content of that particular message. So these are all tricks that, bad people do use to kind of infect us or get to us to act in a particular way or infect our system. So today, we're going to look at, businesses, our organizations, and how their emails or how messages can be sent to a worker within an organization. A fraudulent message, for that matter, could be sent to a worker within an organization in order to ask him to act in a particular way that will go in the long run to affect the organization. Without the person's knowing, without the person's knowledge, he will act in a particular way based on the message that he received. And at the end of the day, that action of his will go a long way to affect the organization, either by divulging the sensitive information or by, paying huge sums of money into an account, or by doing any other thing that could go a long way to ruin the image or the good name of the organizations. So that is what business email compromised it's all about. We have a use case, we have a case studies of a previous happening in that line. So the first case being the cases showcase that there is no organization that cannot be compromised through this, method, BEC. Ubiquity Networks based in the United States, a private technology company. This deals in sales of virtual private networks products and network security and surveillance system. This is a big company that deals in all this, the virtual private network, VPN. It deals in network security and then surveillance system. Okay, on the 19th of May, way back in 2015, a finance department staff got an email which was assumed to have immediately originated from the top executive of the company. So this particular company, a member of the organization working in the finance department, received an email which was believed to have come from his superior, for that matter. So the email gave instructions to him to make a money transfer for an order which will be followed up by a named attorney who works with the law firm of Latham and Watkin, known to them within the organization, within the company. The instruction was followed since the attorney is well known to them. So the message, send this money to this particular person, and in this matter, it's to send it to maybe the company's attorney or the company's lawyer, for that matter. Over the next 17 days, the victim followed the instructions of the fake executive and made 14 transfers of 46.7 million US dollars to foreign accounts, which were held by third parties in China, Russia, Poland, Hungary, and the rest. So this a use case. It's happy. Member of a prominent organization like Ubiquity, who are dealing in security and in surveillance systems, were being, duped. A member was asked to send money, of which he complied, and they sent the money. The second example showcases how, or it shows how the impact could be even more severe than the losses. Okay, a case of scam on a media group called Pebbles, where the employee in finance departments who authorized the transactions were fired and sued for 113,000 euros to recover the fund lost to the cyber criminals. She received some emails that were perceived originated from a director who doubles as her manager within the organization, but on vacation. Okay, she made the transfer as requested, unaware that those emails, in fact, were sent by criminals who knew her manager was on vacation. So another employee who was very inquisitive some days later contacted the manager out of curiosity and discovered such request was not ordered. So at this instance, the company knew it had fallen victim of the BEC attack. This is another attack that an employee, at the end of the day, she was fined by the organization for a sum of 113,000 euros, which is a huge sum of money because of the mistakes that she has committed. So let's move to the next one. Just after the discovery, the bank of the company managed to recover part of the money by blocking the transaction. However, criminals succeeded in keeping 138,000 euros of the transfer. Bibos Media Group responded to the incident by firing really and then suing her for a loss of 138,000. The two cases illustrate how BEC scam is a universal and cuts across various sectors with no limit. So this, cases show us how try to enlighten us, try to let us know that no matter how big an organization is, that organization could be what's hacked. What we have to take, a lesson that we take from here is that in the second case, whereby employee paid 138,000 to the hacker, her manager happens to be on vacation. But because of the relationship between herself and the manager, when she was asked to make those payments, she couldn't call the manager to verify. That led to her calling to her, paying those money into that account without verification, without verifying. The next one happens to be the first one, whereby you pay to the attorney because you don't have direct contact with the attorney, you don't have direct contact with maybe the head of finance and the rest, or because of the fear you have for your bosses, it makes one to act in a particular way that's led to the organization losing huge sum of money, around 460,000 US dollars or something of that sort. So this all tells you that within an organization, things are happening. Whenever you receive an email, any information that needs you to act in a particular way, you have to verify. You have to call or you have to go directly to the office of the one, instructing you to take that particular action, and then make sure that the instruction is coming directly from the person. So over the years, there have been issues of cyber attacks across the globe. So these unscrupulous individuals use different means of getting access to their targets, thereby causing serious problems to their organization. The latest method they use is the BEC. So when we say BEC, or business email compromised, it's just a form of scam whereby the accounts or the email accounts of a high profile person within an organization, especially within the HR departments or the finance department or any department that's issue direct command for an action to be taken, or the IT departments. Okay, that is being taken. So when such happens, the attacker, the one who has that email address and then the passwords, would craft or could craft a message that is, that is believed to have come from the head of that department or any other prominent person within that organization. But before that, he or she has to conduct a series of, investigations. He or she has to use his knowledge of open source intelligence to be able to gather more information as to how that manager used to do his things, how he uses his command, where he is at the moment, what are some of the things that he has been doing. So because all this information will help him to be able to craft a very good message, a very enticing message, a very appealing message that could get the end user or the one who is needed to act quickly within the time frame that is needed. So that is all what BEC is about. Business email compromise is a type of internet scam that the attacker target companies or organizations that undertake their operations in an online money or wire transfer to either pay for goods and services or make any important payments or receipts of payments from their customers. The email account of an executive member or any senior member related to payments is spoofed. When we say something is spoofed, that's it's being copied, or is being changed, or is being used, okay, thereby transferring the money to a different account. So this doesn't necessarily mean money. Today we don't only need money, but we need information. Sometimes sensitive information could be asked to be sent to a certain place that could lead to so many things. So it doesn't matter. It's not only money that we are dealing with. So the attacker mostly depend on social media and company websites directly to target top employees and other executives who works in the finance department, human resources department, and other sensitive areas, thereby taking over their account and using it to issue various commands to change or redirect invoices and payments. So this is what email compromise is all about. Trying to just steal money from the organization by using strategy that's you issue a command, that command could be followed or should be followed, and then you receiving whatever you want to receive. So we look at how prevalent this particular attack is. This can mostly involve impersonating and taking over someone's personal email accounts to force an unauthorized transfer of money, important organizational data, and even requesting personal information or gift cards. So this is a findings from the FBI. That's, as I stated earlier on, doesn't only depend on stealing money, when asking someone to transfer money, but other sensitive informations or sensitive data, or even some gifts and what have you. According to Geoffrey, business email compromise has surged in recent years as organized crime or cybercrime group try to profit off email scams directly or directed against big businesses. Many companies across the world have been duped, millions of dollars through this scam. So it is, common now. I know that's why I started with citing an example as to whether we've heard of anything like that, or we've encountered anything like that. And I know each and every one of us here, both of us in-house and those, connecting via the other social media platform, might have encountered a similar thing. So this is just email compromise. Whenever you are confronted, whenever you receive any mail, whenever you receive, you see you're being sent, being it a direct or indirect or anything, that mail is requiring you to perform a particular action. That mail is asking you to act within the time frame, being it your institutions or any other thing. You don't have to act because it could be a malware that is embedded in that particular thing. So whenever you try to even click that link that is being provided or try to act in that line, you end up falling for a trap that has been set for you. So it is important that we always remember, whenever we receive such messages, we have to check very well. If we have our IT department closer, we just seek their knowledge. We just inform them and then seek their advice as far as that particular action is concerned. So the API shows the countries that are mostly affected, that are highly affected with this BEC, and then the organizations, the companies that are also being affected. So we look at it, no matter what you do, US is always US, and when it's good, they are the ones enjoying it, and when it's bad, they'll also be the ones to enjoy it. So if you can see, we have about 54% of the total attack for that particular year affecting the United States alone. That is why US is investing huge sum of money into cybersecurity. And that is why if you are in the United States of America, and the only area that you have to go in is the tech industry or the cybersecurity area, because that is the area that if you are working, you earn huge sum of money. So we're all hoping that one day will be there and they will also enjoy. So that is why we always urge people around the world, if you are planning of relocating or moving to any country, or even in our own country, Ghana and in other places, people are making it big in the cybersecurity industry. That is why you have to join South Africa for your training, because we are training people all over the world, and our students are excelling in the cybersecurity area. So 54% of the total attack for that particular year affected the United States, with Canada following with 25%. Switzerland is also another country that is being highly affected with this business email compromise. Denmark, Turkey, Germany, our country, India, South Africa, and the rest are all part of the countries that are being affected. Don't forget, Ghana is also part of the countries that is being affected with this business email compromise, because the reason why we don't see things like that happening is because we don't keep proper records of what is happening. When you check even the mobile money fraud that is happening in our country alone, it's huge. The money that people are losing via that particular attack is huge. And they are using all the means that you could remember. Anything, being it key logging and what have you, to be able to get to people's PIN and push people to transfer money. Companies are transferring money to a different account without knowing. All these things is happening everywhere. So don't think because Ghana is not being mentioned here, or your country is not mentioned here, so your country is not affected. No, your country is also part. When you look at the industry, we have the manufacturing industry taking, the highest share that's being affected. We have the counseling, we have the construction industry, the legal, the finance department, industry management, and then other areas. Transportation are also part of the areas. The IT are also part of the areas that are being affected with this business email compromise. So between 2014 to 2024, 10 years, more than $2.1 billion were stolen from companies in the US alone. So through cloud-based email service using BEC. 2019, 23,775 cases of business email compromised. Our 78,000 cases reported within a year in both domestic and international, affecting almost every country in the world. So that is, a data, and it's telling us. So one will say, okay, now there's this new technology coming in, and he is hoping, or he will say, or that this new technology will help to prevent any unwanted happenings as far as business email compromise is concerned. And I'll tell you, this AI that are coming, artificial intelligence, they are blessings as well as curse to all of us. They could be a blessing to you, or it can be a blessing to you if you are using it to your advantage. And it could be a curse to you if someone is using it against you. This business email compromised, we have methods, we have things that we check, maybe the crafting of the messages and what have you. Today, if you take AI, artificial intelligence, you can ask AI to draft a message as is being drafted by CEOs to their subordinates. Okay, I'm just citing an example. I'm just giving an example. You say, okay, AI, I want you to give me a message ordering my employee to act in a particular way. As soon as you mention it, the message will be drafted and then it should be on point. And nothing could tell that this message is a fraudulent message. The same way, if I'm within an IT or an employee and the message is being sent, I could use AI to check whether this is a legitimate message or a fraudulent message. And then AI will be able to tell me that this particular message is a legitimate one or a fraudulent one. So you can see it's working on both sides. Cloud computing, it has come to save us money, to save us, the stress of keeping server within ourselves, or we just have a storage center for our own selves, but rather we pay for the service that we need to the cloud provider. These are issues, these are things that have come into the world to save us a huge sum of money. Because, for instance, if you want to create, you have your own storage center, of which you may have to invest a lot of money, that you have maybe terabytes of space, that you use only 100 gigabytes or something of that sort. The rest, you may be paying for it without using it. But today, the cloud service is there. Whatever you need, you pay for it, and then your security and everything is being taken over. It's being, controlled. But it also comes with its own problems. So these are some of the things. Every new social, solution, social problem you try to solve, it comes with another problem. So it is important that we all stay safe, we all pay attention, we all try as much as we can not to, rush into embracing these new technologies, or whenever we see anything coming or any application coming that we see adverts and stuff like that, we try to download them and stuff like that. No, we have to wait and see how good or bad that particular application is. I know a lot of questions will come from this particular side. So another example over and over and over that is coming about business email compromise, according to security, the FBI Internet Crime Complaint Center and the IC3 Internet Crime Complaint Center compare about internet crime reports with all registered complaints for that year, 467,361, and the reported losses of exceeding 3.5 trillion or billions to business email compromise. Some examples of the business email compromise, there are various ways to carry a BC scam. This includes email accounts or website spoofing. I tried to explain spoofing earlier, but it seems like I didn't take my time to explain it very well. Spoofing is just a method whereby a legitimate account or phone number is being copied and used as an original sender or the one placing the call. For example, a message could come to you that it's coming from with my email, shafi blah 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 at softafric.com. Meanwhile, I'm not the sender of that particular, mail. Why? Because my account has been taken and that person spoofed my account. Or maybe you receive a call. That call, when you check the number that is calling you, okay, it's a number of a particular bank, like let's say Fidelity or UT Bank. You try to cross-check with the number that they have, and it tallies. It's the same number. But this particular number is a fraudulent number because it has been spoofed. So when we say something is spoofed, something is copied or stolen by a hacker to be able to use it against the other party. Okay, so this is initiated by making some slight adjustments or variations on the authentic email address or domain. For instance, the address paul.sean at example company.com versus paul.sean at example company.com. So when you look at these two addresses, the only difference is the second Sean comes with double N. Okay, but the first one is just one N. Why? Because if he calls you, send you a message with this particular Sean, the second one, you might think it's coming from the first one because you didn't pay attention to the two ends. Or sometimes where you have a company, instead of the O, the spoofer, the one who is stealing the account, could make it 0. So your mind will not come on it. You not even see that because you might think that it's the same company, it's the same O. It's a 0. So that's how they do to spoof an account. So like for instance, Shafiu _ they can make it Shafiu with the I being 1. Okay, so instead of you seeing Shafi with the IU, you see Shafi with 1 U, Shaf 1 U. You understand? So that is how they do to spoof the number or any other thing. Spear phishing email dissemination. This category of BEC is categorized with messages that are identical from trusted sender whose purpose is to deceive the victim to expose vital or confidential details. Such details grant cyber criminals access into various information in an organization like accounts, calendar, schedules, which can be used to perpetrate their scams, malware infiltration. So deceptive or malicious software can penetrate organizations' network to have access to email accounts, data, passwords, and conversations about financial transactions may not be questioned. Okay, we have different types of DEC. We have the CEO fraud, the bogus invoice schema. We have the account compromise scheme, the attorney impersonalization scheme, and then data theft scheme. These are all types of business email compromise. As I stated, with the CEO fraud, it's just the account of the CEO is being taken over and using that to send a command that an action needs to be taken. Is of maybe example sending money into a different account and what have you. A bogus invoice, like a duplicated invoice, like a good invoice that will be redirected to a different center. Account compromise scheme whereby account will be taken over, our attorney personalization and the rest of the things. These are all issues of business email compromise. So people vulnerabilities. This is the weakest link. Imposters are aware that exploiting people using psychological tricks and other forms of deceptive methods is easier than exploiting the system using only technical skills. So social engineering will come to mind now. So anyone, we all sometimes fall for this. I cited this example some weeks back whereby you call somebody or someone will call you and trying to get you to sympathize with him or her by trying to, while talking, you could hear a baby crying, maybe he's trying to take care of the baby and the rest. And then this could lead to you acting in a particular way. People are doing that too. Even banks and financial institutions whereby you go physically with their babies while dealing with the attendants, the baby will start crying and then can just pinch the baby or something of that sort in order for that particular person to feel some remorse and pity for them and act in a way that they wanted. Okay, we have issues which are now many companies are thinking of taking people with emotional intelligence. Okay, this is something that is coming also, or it has already is already here. Emotional intelligence, in that you should be able to tell what someone is in at a particular time without you having to ask the person based on the person's reaction and the rest. So this brings about empathy, this brings about sympathy, this brings about so many things that you feel for the person. But mind you, it's not always that it has to go in that line. Sometimes it needs to be hard. Recently, I was being confronted with one particular issue, someone who we tried to help. Um, she ended up now threatening others with other issues. Like, you see, this word itself, sometimes you just have to be careful. If not, you have to be hard to the extent that you will not help anyone because of these bad people. But it's good that sometimes you need to be a bit hard and then a bit soft. So it is very important. Let's move. Social engineering, as I stated, is also a psychological trick that hackers or bad people do use to get people to act in a particular way. The potential impact of BEC, according to the Federal Bureau of Investigation, Internet Crime Report, BEC-related scams alone accounted to 23,775 to 1 billion. The IC3 image shows major statistics regarding complaints and loss by victims. Total loss of 3.5 billion were reported in 2019. The total number of complaints, it's around, in 2000, it's around 4.883231, a total of 340 complaints by year averagely. So these are some of the things that are happening, and this tells you how prevalent this business email compromise is. Its impact, BEC has a very devastating and distressing impact on an individual organization and organization. This ranges from loss of job. So when an organization is being attacked, definitely if the organization loses revenue, definitely some of the workers needs to go. Just like an example I cited earlier, in the case whereby an employee was asked to pay a sum of 430,000 euros because she made that payment mistakenly to a hacker, and eventually, subsequently, she was laid off because of her mistake. So these are some of the things causing a huge financial loss to the organization. It could also lead to sensitive organizational data breach, thereby bringing a legal issues to the organization. Attack destroy hard-earned reputation of the organization. So the organization could lose its reputation, could lose money, employees, good employees could be, asked to move out of the organization. So these are some of the things we asking whether it's a user or a technological problem. But in all, BEC is both user and technological problem. And then because user problem cuts across, attacks aim to overcome the security control by exploiting weaknesses in human action pattern and decision making. So this relies on combined tactics to influence and persuade decision making, such as top executive decision takers, movement pressures, and what have you. So my recommendation for this long talks is that looking at the trend, especially in the face of the ongoing COVID and its aftermath, Russian-Ukrainian war, and the rest, that administrators adopt a two-factor authentication. whenever an account is being set, you have to always make sure that the MFA, 2FA is always activated. Not only the account, even on our phones, our various applications that we use, being it Instagram, Facebook, um, LinkedIn, WhatsApp, and what have you. We have to make sure that we activate the two-factor authentication. This makes it difficult for any attacker to be able to log into our account, even if that account details has been what's compromised. So this is the safest way. You go to settings, you go to security, and then you activate the two-factor authentication on every single application that you're using. This sometimes will require that it sends you a code whenever you try to log in, or it requires that you input a PIN, or you type or key in a PIN that whenever you try to open, it will request that you have that PIN, and then you'll be able to open, or maybe a code will be sent to your bill or your phone or any other place so that you'll be able to open that particular app or account safely. Try as much as we can do. We should all try as much as we can to have a 2FA being activated. And secondly, we have to have a password management tool that is being its KeyPass and any other management tool that you could think of. You can have it on your phone, you can have it on your machine. In that you open, you install, you have all the accounts, the username and the password of the accounts that you use, and then you save it on the password management tool, and then you have only one password to remember, that is a master password to remember, so that anytime you try to log into that account, you use that particular tool, that is the KeyPass. As soon as you log into the KeyPass, you'll be able to log into any account that you want to go into, because you have the URL of that particular account being saved in the KeyPass, as well as your username and your password. With this, you don't always have to remember your username. You don't always have to remember your password. You don't always have to write your password on a piece of paper. You don't always have to carry your password in a book or any other thing. You always have it in the tool. As soon as you open that particular tool with the master with the master password, as that is something that you should remember almost every time. As soon as open, you can log into any account that you want. The organization must review its email security products for efficiency before investing into new ones, thereby verifying configurations with vendor. There should also be a strong business policy that will take care of how the organizations will deal with payments to its suppliers and on time. Any payments, command issue, made by the top executive must be followed up with a written document from he or she. So these are important things to avoid having to act in a particular way. There should be a policy, a written one for that matter, that any command that is coming from a top-ranked executive should be followed with a letter or with a phone call from that particular, top-ranked manager. And in the policy, it should be stated that even if the call doesn't come within 15 minutes, you, the one receiving that command, should make a call directly to the CEO to be able to ask, because some bosses are very hard. When you try to ask them simple questions, you will yelling at you and the rest of the things. You make you feel as if you don't know what you are doing. But to avoid any unwanted attack, these things should be there should be a friendly relationship between a boss and his subordinate and the boss and any other person, so that there will be a free flow of information. There will be a smooth sailing, smooth running of the organization. The last one being, in conclusion, business email compromise is a new way that bad people get access to stealing huge sums of money from organizations that deal in conducting business online and making wire transfer, thereby using a key organizational member's credential to issue a command. So this is what will, kind of bring us to the end of this long presentation on business email compromise. I know a lot of us here have questions that they want to ask, but I'll come in, you bring your question, to see what we can do about it. Big up to all our fans, our people, listeners on the other social media platforms, LinkedIn, Facebook, and other areas. We really appreciate your time being with us. These are time for questions. I've stated earlier, or I've always been saying this. Whenever you have any question, if you are watching us on LinkedIn, you can just type your question. Next time, if you come, we'll address those questions before we start the new session. The same applies to those of us on Facebook and other areas. Thank you very much. The floor is open. So, in the absence of anything, Madam Janet, you can come in. And then we'll proceed.
All right, Shafiu. Thank you so much for your delivery today. And thank you to all attendees of the Soft Africa Threat Intelligence Seminar. Your presence and participation made the event a resounding success. Yeah, we appreciate your dedication and staying informed and empowered in the realm of cybersecurity. Let's continue to collaborate and strengthen our defenses against emerging threats. So for the purpose of those joining us for the first time, we are Soft Africa, a leading IT firm and cybersecurity company. All right, so don't miss out on our opportunity to dive deeper into cybersecurity with Soft Africa Cybersecurity Plus Goals. This 4-month online program scheduled for weekends is designed to equip you with essential skills and knowledge to navigate the ever-evolving landscape of cybersecurity. So over 4 months, you'll delve into crucial areas such as network security, cryptography, threat detection and mitigation, ethical hacking, and much more. So as students, you'll enjoy hands-on practical exercises, live demonstrations, and interactive discussions led by industry experts. So gain invaluable insights, hone your skills, and earn a certification that sets you apart in today's competitive cybersecurity landscape. So join us on this exciting educational journey and take your cybersecurity skills to the next level. So whether you're a seasoned professional looking to expand your knowledge or a newcomer to the field, the cybersecurity, Soft Africa Cybersecurity Plus Course offers valuable insights and practical skills that will propel your career forward. Don't miss this opportunity to elevate your cybersecurity expertise. Enroll now and empower yourself for success in the digital age. So you can visit our website, portal.softafrica.net, or get in touch with us on our social media handles. There's LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. But yeah, a session happens every Wednesday, same time, 12 Eastern Time or 5 GMT. We also have an orientation session every Friday at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. You can join us in there to learn more on what happens in our course. So looking forward to future engagements together. Thank you so much. See you same time next week. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much. And Holy Saint Ken, I think he sent a comment on Facebook. Really appreciate that. And all our about 26 or 50 members on Facebook. 15 on LinkedIn. We thank you very much. Thank you so much for joining us. So next week, we come up again with another important topic, God willing. Thank you very much.